under the age of 21 in a bar in Old Town Scottsdale, Mr. Jordan Ginnis. Thanks so much for swinging by. I can't believe this is your first podcast.
First podcast, first anything like this, to be honest.
So do you have a tough time getting into bars?
I would say, I mean, I don't pursue that as often as many other people my age.
That's honestly why I reached out to you. You're boxing now, you're disciplined, you're training your ass off. I've seen all of your content on social media. That's why I reached out. For a 20-year-old dude, you're finding your passion young. I appreciate you going after your dreams.
Yeah. It's been a long journey to get here. Although I'm only like 20, like it's kind of like I went through a lot of different like phases in my life, different things. But I always thought I was gonna be a ball player my whole life. Like him. I mean, shoot, we were chasing the dream as kids the whole time. So he's at Iowa State right now playing football, D1, and I've been playing football. I was playing football my whole life since I was like 6 years old. So I finished out my high school career. I had a few like preferred walk-ons and stuff, but I didn't know if I wanted to pursue that and not even get,
You think size mattered?
100%. I mean, when size, and obviously I'm not the speediest individual, so if you turn on my film was definitely, like, I would say upper echelon, but I mean, nothing, I needed definitely somebody to put their neck out for me, and that wasn't gonna happen, especially when you could get somebody my stature that runs a 4.2, and so it's
right.
like, it was a little rough, it was a little harder, and I made it a lot harder on myself because, I mean, I wish I got into, I tell everybody, I wish I got into boxing earlier. I didn't start boxing, so I wrestled and stuff and did all those sports growing up. Like, I did everything. I played baseball, basketball, soccer, football, wrestled, and so once I quit football, I was like, shoot, I want to go get into combat sports, and my real dream was UFC at first, because like that's all I saw. I've been watching that since I was 13, and I've been seeing like individuals, blowing up on the scene. And I know a couple of my friends, my close friends, they like made it to the UFC, and it was a considerably fast start. And so I was like, shoot, if I'm not gonna go be with my friends playing football, I need to go do something. And actually, his uncle's my trainer. So Marty Barrett, that's my trainer, my manager. And so I've known him since I was 13, right? 13? Yeah, 13. And that's when I met his uncle, and he's been my uncle ever since. I call him Uncle Marty. So I reached out to him once I quit football. Once I finished my season, I reached out to him like, hey, I wanna get my hands right to get into a UFC gym, because I don't wanna go in there and just get beat up. And I started doing it, I started training. He's like, all right, if you want to take it serious, you got to come in every day at 5 a.m. So for like 6 months, I was in there in the gym every day at 5 a.m. doing my thing. And once he realized like, oh, he's actually like committed, he actually wants to do this thing. And I talked to some other individuals, like some managers, some other athletes. They're like, well, if you want to like get punched in the face, go get punched in the face for money. I wouldn't do UFC, because at the end of the day, the early starters, you're getting 12 and 12. $24,000 ain't enough when you're gonna come out with a broken hand, so you're suspended for 6 months. So like, yeah, anytime you get an injury in UFC, most people don't notice, and this is why a lot of people they tap out, they don't go out, is because regardless if you got knocked out, you got choked out, anything, you're getting suspended for 6 months. And then if you have an injury besides that, you gotta let that rehab. And a broken hand isn't easy to rehab, especially when you're using it all the time.
Dude, that's tough in that sport, because little things like that could put you on the shelf for that long period of time. When you're putting in the exponential amount of work in order to get to a certain situation. I remember watching a video of Daniel Cormier. He was training for his fight with John Jones. I think it was the second time around. And Dana White had to come up to him and be like, man, it's not gonna happen because John Jones, cocaine use or whatever he was doing.
Yeah.
And Daniel Cormier is just like, tapping. He's like, come on, man.
Words can't explain it. So I just had my professional debut March 4th out here in Phoenix as Celebrity Theater. And I had a little bit like that. So I had, especially in the boxing community, fights fall through all the time. They fall through all the time. I mean, even big fights fall through all the time. So you can imagine on the lower level how difficult it is to get not only a fight, but a good fight, a fight that you're okay with taking. You're not gonna, put your head on the line, because boxing's a lot bigger than UFC. You need that zero. You can't just be going in there willy-nilly and just beating on, just accepting any fight. So I had my guys picked. I had everything set up, contract signed. Boom, commission says, nah, we're not gonna do it. And so this was 2 weeks before my fight. So this was early or end of February. I'm like, dang, I don't even know if I'm gonna fight. I sold hundreds of tickets. I got all these sponsors. I did everything. I'm like, damn, I don't even know if this is gonna like pan out. I'm gonna have to tell everybody, like, I'm not gonna fight. But like a week out, I got to fight. So, I mean, anything could happen. It's definitely a war of emotions. You got to always stay level-headed, stay keen.
Well, the thing is, if you're put into that situation, let's say someone backs out, like a few years ago during Fight Island, Khabib couldn't make it from Russia, and Justin Gaethje slides in and beats Tony Ferguson out of nowhere, where Tony was the #1 contender, and all of a sudden Justin Gaethje's the #2 lightweight in the entire division. It's like things like that could change on a dime for someone who didn't expect to be in that situation.
Exactly. My favorite story, like in the boxing world with that, is Andy Ruiz. So Andy Ruiz went from fighting for tens of thousands of dollars, if that, in Mexico for minor belts with minor promotions, to in a year had multi-million dollars and almost a unified belts. So actually one of our like good friends, Anthony, he represented Andy, and so we got a little more information than that. But it's like, yeah, it's crazy because like you wouldn't expect just how fast things can happen, especially in the fight game. Well, in any sport game, but like in the fight and any athletics, but in the fight game, money comes like that. But it goes from here to here. But yeah, I mean,
the mentality, dude, especially like for you, like let's say you're 20 years old and the right person sees you at the right time and you win the right fight at the right time, your situation could go from 0 to 100. How are you going to react?
Exactly.
You don't know.
100%. That's why, I mean, we're doing the things we do now. That's why I was like I told you before the podcast, my teammates out with our good friend Malik Collins out there in Houston, playing, helping him get right. And part of the reason we're going out there, like we go out there, we stay with him, we do the things he does, is because he's like a big brother to us. So he shows us like this is gonna be you guys in a few years. You guys got to be prepared. You guys got to be ready for it. And it's definitely a different life. It's something, I mean, we all dream of, you know? Like, that's why I'm in this. I just want to make sure my family's straight. I want to make sure everyone around me is good. I want to make sure if he don't make it to the NFL, he's still good. Shit, and I hope if he make it to the NFL, he's gonna keep me good. So, I mean, it's definitely mentality. It's all mentality. You got to be a little crazy to be in this game. You got to be a little crazy to be willing to let somebody punch you in your face.
Crazy's good, dude.
Crazy is.
I don't think you are entrepreneurial or driven or focused until you get punched in the face. You ain't a real man until you get punched in the face.
100%. Like I was saying, like I wish I boxed earlier. So my whole life, I'm a very polarizing individual. Like you either love me or hate me. Family, friends, athletics, coaches, anyone. They can tell you could ask anyone in the past. Like I'm just, cause I'm a confident individual. I'm a confident individual, and I'm very genuine. I'm not ever gonna, fake it for anybody. And that's been my downfall a lot. And so early on in my like football career in high school and stuff, I was getting in trouble with just attitude. I was just talked back. Yeah, I felt I deserved a level of respect that I wasn't getting. And so if I'm not getting that respect, why do I gotta respect you?
You're like entitled.
Which at the end of the day that's not a healthy thing, because you're a kid. You don't deserve respect. You're a kid. And so I didn't learn that until really I didn't start calming down until I stopped football. I came to the boxing and got my ass whooped. I can cuss, right? My fault.
Say whatever the hell you want, man.
Yeah, I got my ass whooped, and I'm like, it takes a lot of pride out of you. You can't say anything else. You got your butt whooped. Like, what are you gonna do? Who are you gonna turn to? Who whipped your butt? You got your ass whooped. So, I mean, you can't be entitled in this game, because nothing's given, everything's deserved, and everything's earned.
Dude, mentality, I feel like, is the biggest thing in doing what you do. Not only when you're training, but when it's time for fight night, it's like you need to put your emotions at check, but at the same time channel that ruthless aggression and control it in order to fight.
Yeah. So this was my first professional. This is my first fight actually at all. I didn't have any amateur bouts. I've never had.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I've never had anything like that. I just went straight into it. I trained for a few years. And once my coach decided he felt that I was ready, we attacked it, and we're going full head. And so it was like, how I describe the feeling is like a high school, like you played sports in high school? You
Baseball.
Baseball? So you played like CIF or like championship, like, you know, yep. So it's the same thing as me, like like a playoff game, like a high school playoff game. That's how I felt. The jitters, the like little nervousness, but like, you know, like, okay, everyone's here to see it, but it's time to go. And just like football, just like baseball, when you get that first contact or you get that first hit, and once I got that first punch in, it all went away. And it's yeah, I really wasn't as nervous as I expected I was gonna be, and I wasn't, but it did take me a little. I got excited. I'll say I mean the fight only took a minute 45, but for that first 30 seconds, I was pretty excited, but.
You're just feeling yourself out. You're like, okay, here we go. It only lasted 120 seconds, but
exactly. It felt a lot quicker. I thought it was 30 at the end, but yeah, I mean, granted, I will say like the level of competition wasn't where I feel I am, but I mean it's my first fight, so you know you can only expect so much.
It's funny because some people might look at that and like get that stinging feeling in their first fight. They get punched in the face and they never want to do it again.
Yeah.
Like, why did I train for this? Why did I think that this was a good idea?
Yeah, I mean, shit. I've been doing this for so long. I've been doing it for 3 years now. So for two and a half of those years before I even had a fight in my mind, even had that envisioned, I was getting punched in the face. So it was, you know, getting punched in the face for a rack and a half is not that bad.
Now, when you're training, do you have like the headgear on and everything, or?
I mean, that's to each their own. It's whatever an individual wants. Like this morning, like you can see my lips a little cut. Like I didn't have no headgear on. I was just letting like people around the gym, you know, spar me and like get active in that. It helps me because when you have that headgear on, you have another 3 inches of room that you're not gonna get hit. If I was to, you know, just pull this a little bit away, you're not gonna hit me, but you're gonna hit me if I had that headgear on. And so I say a mixture of both. Like if I'm going against competition that I know, you know, I respect the power, or I don't want to get hurt, this, that, yeah, I'm gonna put on headgear. But if it's, you know, if I've sparred the individual already, or if I know they're not the level, they're younger, or they're beginning, I'm not gonna put on headgear because I'm confident that 1, they're not gonna hit me, and 2, like if they were to hit me, it's not gonna be the end of the world.
What are some of your hobbies before you got into this? Obviously, always growing up a sports player, a ball player. Like, what are some of your hobbies?
I mean, I like. I mean, I play some. I'm a little gamer. I play some video games just a little bit. I be on Rainbow and Call of Duty. You feel me? Just a little bit. But
Favorite Call of Duty game?
My favorite Call of Duty game? Probably Black Ops 2.
I would have gone Modern Warfare 2.
That's fair.
All the Black Ops are.
All the Black Ops are fire. All the Black Ops are fire. But Black Ops 2 was the first one, you know, I was like, what? Shit. I'm young, so I was like 11, 12, and that's when I first got into like really playing. So that's like nostalgic for me.
What's your favorite map?
No, man, don't ask me that much. You're gonna make me look silly.
Favorite map in Modern Warfare 2? Those were the classic maps, dude. You had Terminal, you had
Yeah,
Rust.
I'm thinking.
Rust was my favorite.
Rust is good. Probably, yeah, probably Rust. You're right. Rust, I'll agree with
the
you.
all-time classic for free-for-all.
100%, has to be. Has to be.
The amount of sniper shots that I had.
Quick scopes.
The quick, dude, sniper shots. I sounded like such an amateur there. Quick scope, quick scope, headshot, plus 200.
Yeah, and yeah, besides that, I just watch sports. I mean, I'm a very laid-back individual. I feel like, so when I was coming up, I was playing football, and when we were young, I mean, shoot, he's had his O's since he was a freshman. So, you know, hanging out with him in his group, and with all our older homies, they were 2020. So you know who Keely Ringo is? Yeah. Yep. So Keely Ringo, I don't know, Day Hunter. He's a running back at Liberty. He actually just entered the transfer portal, but he had a big year. He would have been in the draft this year if he didn't tear his knee. There's Jacoby Covington. He's starting safety at USC. There's quite a few individuals that like we hung out with that, you know, we're on the fast track to shoot NFL, NBA. So we got to experience, you know, excitement parties, doing all that, college parties, doing all that at a younger age. So I feel like now that, even though we're not even really old enough to even drink and do that, we have.
Not really, you aren't.
Yeah, we
you
aren't.
almost weren't allowed in this building.
That is very true. They almost didn't want to put us in. You got the pool though. You got the pool.
No.
But yeah, I feel like we kind of capped. We didn't reach that cap yet, obviously, because we're gonna celebrate when we get there. But now I feel like it's not as much of our motivation. We're really tunnel vision, locked in, and so partying, pursuing all that, pursuing cat, doing all that.
So it really was never a distraction for you.
I mean, I would say like, yeah, in high school we enjoyed our time, but I wouldn't say, yeah, not a distraction. I had good grades. I was always balling out, so I mean, it wasn't a distraction considerably. I mean, yeah, nah, not yet. Shoot.
How long have you had long hair? That was me 3 years ago.
Hey, that's sick.
Yeah.
Why'd you cut it?
Too much, dude.
Too much?
It gets to a point where it's just too hot here in the summer.
No, I agree.
And then when I decided to cut it, I immediately regretted it and tried to grow it back. And literally 2 weeks ago, it was like down to here. And I'm like, you know what? I'm cutting it. It's easier.
It is easier.
I've done it.
I hate. I'll wake up to my hair waking me up fucking everywhere in my face. Like that's the worst part.
Yep.
Nah, but I've had it. Shoot. Probably like 2 years now. It was probably like a year and a half. So I shaved my head completely and
I feel like when you're fighting, especially when like you're training, it's almost a hassle to have it.
Ladies love it.
I'm sure.
Ladies love it. That's it. That's marketable. Everything I do is it's got a plan. It's got something. Like
you're a businessman.
Exactly. I mean, so my boxing name's California King. I'm from California, so I grew up in California I grew up in Orange County since I was a baby till about end of 8th grade, right before I met him. And so I was out there and I had my long hair back when I was younger and stuff because we stayed in we bounced around a lot, but mainly Huntington Beach, Santa Ana, right there. So we was close to the beach. All my homies were surfing and stuff. So it's always been, in my mind. And then I grew it out when I was younger, and just like how you were saying, you just grew yours out. I was like, nah, I'm over it, I'm gonna cut it. So I cut it, and then ever since then I was like, shoot, I wanna grow my hair out, I wanna grow my hair out, I wanna grow my hair out.
It's almost like your foundation.
Yeah.
That's how I felt. That's why I wanted to grow it back, but then I'm like, no, it's not worth it.
Nah, you matured, dude, you passed it.
Like I've done it. Like the reward is, I've already been there.
Been there, done that. Yeah. No.
How is the dating game for you, since you say the ladies love your hair and everything's a marketing scheme?
I mean, it's going. You gotta, when you're an individual that you have things going, like you gotta make sure that you're not pursuing somebody that's not gonna, support you in your vision, in your decisions. So I actually had I had a girlfriend for a while, for about a year. We just broke up recently. She moved out of state, and so I've been just relaxing, doing my thing, training. Gives me a little bit extra motivation.
That's right.
That's it. But yeah, I mean it is.
Channel those dark thoughts into something good, dude.
100%. 100%.
They're not gonna do anything for you if they're just sitting there and you're just. Luckily, you can't get into bars, so.
Seriously, I can't drink my sorrow away. Yeah, but no, yeah. I mean, besides that, like I said, I don't be out. I don't be pursuing. I mean, whatever comes to me, comes to me. I haven't. I'm focused on me right now. I just gotta.
That stuff happens on accident, dude.
Exactly. Like literally, I'm telling you, the only thing I think about all the time, every time, all day, every day, is making sure I make sure my family's good. And this is the path I think I'm truly meant to be on. And so I'm gonna pursue it until I die, to be honest.
When's the first fight?
When's my first fight? I just had my first fight, so I'm gonna.
Okay.
We were aiming for the end of this month. I was gonna fight at the end of this month in Mexico, but like I said, things fall through all the time, and so we're shooting for next end of next month. But stay posted on the Instagram for a fight announcement. But until then, yeah, I'm just training, just staying ready, keeping my weight down. So.
Do you have like a content team that's gonna record this stuff?
I have my guy, Dirty Productions, DRTY Prod on Instagram. He's a filmmaker out of California, and so we're close friends. He just comes out and film, but not a team or nothing, not yet. but I will. I'll get there eventually.
When you win a couple of fights, you start seeing the money come in.
You start, exactly. Get some more sponsorships, get going. Precisely.
So when you first started this, you obviously have the vision on the marketing side and everything, social media, you have like the full plan. What's kind of the end game in your mind right now? It's going to change over time, believe me.
I mean,
like, what was like the first thing that caught your eye, what you wanted to accomplish?
All I want is $1 million, bro. At the end of the day, I don't want to be in this for a long time. I mean, I don't want to. Nobody. If anyone tells you that they enjoy getting punched in the face, they're a liar. Like, they're 100% a liar. Anyone that says I live and breathe this game, I've been doing it my whole life. Like, yeah, you've been doing it your whole life. You live and breathe it, but you don't love it. It's not. Nobody loves this. This isn't a sport that you love. But some people, like I said, some people are more naturally inclined to it. And so I'm just trying to, my goal is to get out before 25. I want to make $1 million before 25. If I get more, I get more. If a belt comes along, a belt comes along. But if not, I mean, I'm more than happy with just $1 million and pursue my other things. I really want to, I need to get my, my YouTube more consistent. I need to post some more, but I want to start like my own brand. I want to get some clothing going, and I want to make sure, like, my brother can pursue the businesses he wants to pursue. I can play a little part in all these things. Open up a gym for my family back here. Like stuff like that. But I'm just hoping not to be in this for too long. I want to retire. I don't want the fight to retire me. So I want to make sure,
dude. Especially in an industry where you're getting punched in the mouth all the time.
Exactly. I mean, at 55, I want to make sure I can talk. I don't. It's truly. I mean, I don't think boxing's any more dangerous than football, than obviously definitely not than MMA. But like any full contact sport, it's all the same to me. It's all you're receiving damage that your body's not used to and your body's not made for that. And so anytime you're having contact to your head, it's not healthy.
No.
It's not good.
Oh, dude, I can't imagine. Like the amount of discipline that it takes to get knocked in the head and continue to fight too.
Yeah,
the objective is to win. That's how you're making your money.
100%.
And you got to think like, oh, I'm dizzy in this moment. I got to continue. I got to put my hands up.
100%. I mean, also like, yeah, it's an unforgiving game. It's an unforgiving game. Everyone has a punch count, so a lot of people think boxing's like the art of, machismo, me versus you. You're not gonna take my punches, I'm gonna take yours. It doesn't matter. That's not boxing. Floyd did it best. I mean, he didn't get touched his whole career. He would beat you. Yeah, some people thought, oh, he's a born fighter, but no, he's a boxer. He's outboxing you. He's gonna beat you 10-9 every round. Maybe you're not dying at the end, but he beat you 10-9 and you didn't touch him once. His face is perfectly fine. So boxing at the end of the day is the art of to hit somebody and to not get hit. And so I mean, that's the goal to be in the longevity of this. Like I said, everyone has a punch count. You don't know your punch count. So my punch count could be 5, and after 5 punches, I take to the jaw. My body naturally, when you get knocked out so many times or get hit so many times, your body naturally, your defense mechanism is to get knocked out. And so that's why you see these older individuals, like these veterans on their way out, especially in the MMA, they get hit once, twice, lights out. Once or twice clean and they get lights out, and that's because like their body's naturally inclined, saying like, oh, we've been here before, we know you're not gonna stop, I'm gonna put you out. And that's when you start thinking about head injuries and that and this. And so I don't want to find out my punch count. I just don't want to get hit, and I don't want to find it out. So that's my hope, is just stay healthy and get a little bit of money while I can.
That's right, dude. Yeah. So what are some of the brands you talked about? Apparel, right? Yeah. What else would you want to do down the line when it comes to businesses?
I mean, obviously I said my apparel. I want to open up. So right now, the co-owner of the gym is also Malik Collins. So like once I get enough, I want to like actually build like a complex and build like, I don't know if you know what the MMA lab is.
Yeah.
Yeah, the MMA lab out here, they got that and Fight Ready are two like main like UFC like mixed martial arts gyms out there and out here, and they got like great facilities. They got ice baths, they got cryo, all that. And so I want something like that. I want something that I can, run and have all types of athletes come through and be able to train, be able to get their rehab all in one place, and have a community in that spot, in that place where, you know, even if you're not from this country, even if you're not from this part of town, if you're from New York, you're from Brazil, it doesn't matter. You can come, you know you're gonna be accepted, you know you're gonna get the best work, and you know you're gonna be taken care of. And so that's my vision. But yeah, I mean, my brand, social media, and that's pretty much it. I mean, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with
If you had a dream fight, so you look at like the greats, right? You look at the Tysons, the Holyfields, Floyd Mayweather, who's still going at it, Manny Pacquiao. But then you also have the Jake and the Logan Pauls of the world. You still have all of like the Nate Robinsons still in the YouTube boxing portion. If you got offered boxing,
if Jake Paul, that's actually funny that I know, because I know BJ, his trainer, and so if Jake Paul was to ever fight me, Jake, I'm 5'9", $155. You outweigh me by 40. You're taller than me by 4 inches. We can get it cracking at any time. I would accept that by far. Easy $1 million, no problem.
That's $1 million just for the fight, dude.
But the problem with that is no one's gonna take you serious. But I mean, I'd knock his ass out, and everyone's gonna take me serious for sure. But I mean, that's not a dream. If that was to happen, hell yeah, I'd accept it. But I mean, my dream fight, if I could fight anybody, shoot. I mean, either Sugar Ray Leonard or Roy Jones. Those would be my top two. Just because those are the two individuals I study a lot, and I would say I fight like I'm a quick moving individual, and so I'm not in here to I don't go in there ready to brawl and to scrap immediately and just throw. And if you watch Roy, you watch Sugar, they're setting them up. They plant traps. You see Roy with that little head movement all the time, you know, baiting them out. And I would like to see how I would lay traps against them, and see, you know, who would come out up top. And yeah, I think
that'd be a lot of fun, dude.
It'd be insane.
That's the thing. You start envisioning that stuff now, and like whether it manifests or not later on, at least you're gonna get to a certain point where you didn't think you were gonna get.
No, 100%. I mean, I'm hoping to get big enough. Hey, if Canelo's still in the game while I'm fighting, I'm pursuing that Canelo fight at all costs. But I mean, there's a couple big names around my weight class now that I know when I get there in a year or two, they still gonna be there, and they're gonna be rocking hard, and they're gonna be rocking strong. And Gervonta, Devin, Shakur, all them. I'll take any of them, to be honest. It don't matter, but I know those are the individuals that I actually have a chance to be there with and get in the ring with, and I can't wait till I get there, because it's gonna be.
Have you been knocked out yet?
Come on,
like cold?
Hell no. Nah, I haven't even. I mean, I was dropped my first ever time in the ring with this other, like, one of my like good training partners. He used to be a pro, like back in the day. He landed a body shot, and I sat down to deliver, because, you know, you ain't never had a body shot like that, so I sat down. But besides that, nah, like I said, you're not pursuing that. You don't want to go in there and brawl with your sparring partner. You just want to get better. Yeah. I don't want to knock you out. You don't want to knock me out. And so, like, when you knock an individual down sparring, like, yeah, you got to be cutthroat, but like, if it's a training partner that you train with constantly, like, you don't feel good about it. Like, it's like, all right, you know? And so I actively try not to get knocked out.
Obviously.
If I'm not,
right?
if I'm not in an actual fight, I do everything in my power not to get knocked out.
You a WWE fan?
Hell yeah! When I was younger, I never was into it, but like as I got older, I got into it, which is like the opposite of everybody else.
Because look at Logan Paul. He fights Floyd Mayweather.
Makes
his millions, even though he probably knew he wasn't going to win that fight. Who knows if it was fixed or not? But now look at him now in WWE as a pro wrestler.
That's an athlete right there, though.
Yeah.
He's an athlete. And I mean, those guys, no one wants to give them respect because they started out as YouTubers and they started out doing all this and that. But at the end of the day, look, Jake's been training just as long as I've been training, and I'm a professional boxer. So at the end of the day, you got to consider Jake a professional boxer. No, majority of people don't want to give it to him. maybe he's not a best professional boxer. He's not that great, but he's a low level professional boxer, and he can definitely punch somebody. And so like you got to give him your respect. You got to give him respect for that. And the same thing with Logan. I mean, Logan is one of the best businessmen in the world. To come back from what he came back from, literally canceled and all this and all that, and now he's on top of the world with his brother, who also is a very polarizing individual that, I mean, majority of people are rooting for their downfall, but they're still keeping track of them. They got millions of followers. Their YouTubes are still big as ever. They're still getting merch drops. Like, it's not, their business is not slowing down at any time. So it's like, you know, you gotta respect it. I don't respect the individuals that don't respect that. Like, anyone, if you were to put down this right here and get in a boxing gym right now and box for 3 years, and that's what you wanted to do and you got a professional bout, then you're a professional boxer. And so, I mean, everyone's hating on him because he took the fast track. Jake took a fast track. But wouldn't you take a fast track if you could? Right? Like, what's the point? Why are you hating on him?
They're not cheating it. They're premier athletes. But yeah, they got their start in something that most professionals who actually grinded for decades to get to where they're at, they look at that and say, they don't belong here.
Yeah.
But they do.
I mean, I feel like just such old, it's just old thinking. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, it's jealousy, right? It's a jealousy for everybody. I mean, you don't want to see somebody succeed in your dream when you're not succeeding in yours, you know? Like, and so I think if you truly, like, as long as you're positive and you know you're secure in yourself and you know what you got going on and what you're pursuing, there's no reason for that insecurity and for that hate. And so that's why I feel like I'm gonna give everyone the respect and everything that they deserve, because like, shoot, you deserve it. I'm gonna get there one day. I'm not there now, I'm gonna get there one day though.
Oh yeah.
And like, so like, what's the point of me saying, nah, he don't deserve that, it's not worth that, like this, that, and the third, when he got it. He deserves it because he got it. If he didn't deserve it, he wouldn't have got it at the end of the day.
Those guys have more followers than the WWE has too. So they're bringing over their 30 million followers to WWE's 20 million.
I can't imagine, bro. I can't imagine the money they're making. Like, it's just fucking insane.
Well, one day you're going to be making that money, man.
You're right.
I appreciate you coming on today.
Of course.
I can't believe this was your first podcast. You're a natural at answering questions.
First podcast,
you've never answered questions before?
Nothing like that, no.
Well, we're going to have you on again when you turn 21 for your 21st birthday.
All right,
I can't believe how young you are, dude.
I appreciate
This was episode 766 of the podcast, guys. We're presented by OSNAP Active Lifestyle. Head on over to osnap.com/Jack O'Hara to get your product now. OSNAP, remember, just snap, squeeze, and drink, man. It's that easy. But Jordan Ginnis, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Of course, thank you guys for having me. Stay tuned. My Instagram's at JGIN714. Fight announcement gonna be coming soon. And if you guys want to get those hands right or come in condition, we're at 12th Round Fit Boxing Gym in Scottsdale. Let me know. Thank you, brother.
Awesome, man.